Hello everyone, what's up? Welcome back to the KotLC Fanbase channel. Today we are going to be going over some KotLC fan theories for KotLC Book 9. Believe it or not, we're only 5 months away from the release of Book 9 and we still don't have any information about the book yet. But whenever Shannon Messenger does release any information about Book 9, such as like the cover or the title, I will be there and have a video for it. And if you're excited to hear all of these fan theories, leave a like on the video. And if you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. Without further ado, let's get into the first theory. The first theory is from Mary Dolan. My guess is that Keefe is either going to run into Amy or will basically hide in the San Diego area. Also, I low-key hate the Elwin is Sophie's dad theory, because we all saw how Orelai being her mom kind of ruined their relationship. I love the relationship and I feel like Ellen would have come clean by now. Also, last thing I promised, I hope we find out about Celebrune and Elysian. It's one of those things that never got explained and it seems super important. If you don't remember what Elysian is, in the very first part of Unlocked, we see into the cache and we can see that Kenrick and Orelai are talking about something called Elysian and we have no idea what it is, and we still don't after reading Unlocked. And I know what they mean by, like, when Orelai was revealed to be Sophie's mom, Sophie got really and understandably upset at Orelai because she had kept the secret hidden from her for all these years. So I do think that if Elwin was her father, then the same reaction would happen as well. The next theory that we have today is from Kripa, I think Sedana. I'm sorry if I said that name totally wrong. I think Sophie's biological dad is either Gethin or Elwin, and I think that Amy should be in the book a little bit more, so maybe Keefe might meet her somehow, and Sophie and Keefe will maybe start having feelings for each other after being apart for so long. I definitely think that, even though I wouldn't prefer it, I think that if Sophie's dad were Elwin, it would make a lot of sense. But I don't really know why many people keep saying that Sophie's dad is Gethin, because Gethin is part of the Neverseen and Sophie is the Black Swan's creation. So why would Gethin, being part of the Neverseen, want to help the Black Swan? It just doesn't really make sense, at least in my mind, why Gethin would want to help the Black Swan by creating Sophie, which has been basically made to directly compete and fight against Neverseen. They're also saying that Amy might be prevalent in the book because Keefe is going to the human world, so maybe he will meet up with Amy or something like that. I think that would be really cool to read about, like, because I really enjoyed when we saw her in Nightfall, because she was so amazed by the lost cities. And now it's going to be sort of the opposite, where we have Keefe going to the Forbidden Cities with Amy, and I don't know if he's going to be amazed or like shocked or whatever. This next theory is short, but I just want to read it because it's actually really cool and made me think about something. So from Sam, they say that I kind of hope Keefe meets the Neverseen and they explain what their end goal is, what their whole plan is. Keefe will be sort of manipulated into wondering whether the Black Swan is really right after all. I've also seen other theories stating like Neverseen and the Black Swan are extremely similar. They both have similar goals, but they just execute their goals in different ways. But I think even though they might have the same end goal, there definitely is a way to separate like good and bad based on how they do their plans and etc. So that was a really thought-provoking theory. Thank you, Sam. And the next one is from Elizabeth Lewis. I wonder how Keefe will survive in the Forbidden Cities, or how Sophie will react to the letter that Keefe left her. Maybe she'll talk to Iggy, because she's a polyglot maybe, and get what happened from him. I also kind of hope she doesn't find out Grady didn't stop Keefe, because then she'll be mad at Grady. Also, maybe when Grady let Keefe go, he had a moment of understanding with Keefe. It might affect how he feels about Keefe. Maybe Sophie will be in danger and Grady has to tell Keefe to come back, and he does. And I wonder if it will even come back in Book 9. Basically what they're talking about is how Sophie will react to the letter. Keefe wrote a letter at the end of Unlocked when he left, and Grady caught him, and then Grady let him go. Now, I'm not sure if that was the correct decision by Grady, because now Keefe is alone in the Forbidden Cities. And obviously, if Sophie ever finds out, she is going to be extremely mad at Grady. It also just makes me wonder, like, when Sophie reads that letter, the first thing she's going to try and do is try and track Keefe down. So is Grady going to help her, or is he going to tell her that Keefe left for the Forbidden Cities? I'm not sure. They also said that Grady had a moment of understanding with Keefe, and that might change how Grady feels about Keefe. I definitely think that did happen. Like, Grady definitely, if Grady acted towards Keefe like he did in the first couple books, he would not have let Keefe go. The next theory is from Shrieker K. This is late, but I think that Keefe is going to be captured by the Neverseen in Book 9 instead of a Black Swan or council member finding him. This would lead to Jaiya maybe unlocking another aspect of Keefe's ability and a showdown between the Black Swan and the Neverseen. While Keefe is in Forbidden Cities, he will figure out the mystery of the Ethan Benedict dude. I think since Keefe is out in the Forbidden Cities, once the Neverseen knows that he's out, I think the Neverseen, the Black Swan, the Council, and Sophie is going to all be looking for Keefe. So it's just kind of it might be like a race to see who's going to find Keefe first. And if the Neverseen find him, then Jaiya is going to do what she's going to like have her way with Keefe, because she had this whole ability thing planned out for him. So she's going to be able to execute whatever she wanted to do with him, which we're not sure yet. So Book 9 is definitely going to be extremely action-packed, and the one thing that would make Book 9 one of the best books in the series is that if it had Keefe's point of view again. In Unlocked, we got to see Keefe's point of view a lot, and it was so cool. It was like super fun to like see his point of view and dive into his mind. And it would be so hard to figure out what's going on inside his brain and how he's thinking if we only had Sophie's point of view in Unlocked. But now I want Keefe's point of view even more, because now he's in the Forbidden City, so he will get to have all these thoughts about like humans and the human world. So I just totally think this book would be elevated if it has Keefe's point of view, and maybe it will. The next theory is from Daughter of Athena, and they say that I think Sophie burning the other Neverseen place is going to be the thing that starts the war, if there isn't already a war going on. And eventually, over time, people are going to start blaming her for the war, and then she will run to the Forbidden Cities and meet up with Keefe, who is learning to control his ability, and he's going to help her end the war. So Book 9's, from this person's theory, Book 9 might be the end of the series, considering they said to end the war. Because I think the end goal of the Black Swan in the series at this point is to just stop the Neverseen. And this brings me to a topic that I also wanted to talk about, is that I don't really think it's possible for Shan and Messenger to end this book series in one more book. So I definitely do not think that Book 9 is going to be the last book. I know it was said somewhere that Shannon had a contract for 9 books, but if you think about it, Unlocked was actually the 9th book in the series, even though it was 8.5. I don't think it's really possible for her to end it in this one book, because we still have to know Sophie's biological father. We don't really need to know that, but I think it will be revealed. We need to stop the Neverseen, and we need to have some resolution with the ship war, which we are nowhere close to any of these things. The next theory is from GH Trick Shots. Crazy idea, but someone has to be a spy, either on the Council or in the Black Swan, and that is how the Neverseen always know all the plans. But who would the spy be? I have no idea. Maybe it's Alina or Blur. It is very strange that the Neverseen is always like a step ahead or steps ahead of the Black Swan. We don't really know most of the counselors. Like, I barely can even remember all their names. I probably can't. So who knows? Maybe there's a random counselor who is working for the Black Swan. Who knows? Just like Finton was. I mean, he was a former counselor and now he turned to the Black Swan. Okay, the next theory is from Books and TV Geek, and this one is crazy. I have a pretty crazy theory. I saw it on Pinterest and I was super amazed. I now believe that Blur is Jency. I mean, we haven't really seen Jency at all in the past 3 books or so, which could mean he was with the Black Swan. When the water splashed over Blur in Nightfall, Sophie described him as having rosy cheeks that looked familiar. Sophie has never met his brother, but she's talked with Jency on occasions. If I remember his official art right, Jency has rosy and round cheeks, so either his brother looks very similar, which would make his brother Blur, or Blur is Jency. I know the main theory for Blur is that it is Jency's brother. I think his name was like Fernan or something like that. I'm still pretty confident that Blur is Jency's brother, and one piece of evidence that you might not really think to consider is that in Unlocked, we got a guide of all the characters' names and stuff, and Jency's brother was listed like with a name and stuff, and we've never heard of him before, just from like one sentence that said that Jency had a brother. That was a phaser. So I think they're definitely setting it up, and I definitely think that Blur is Jency's brother. Everybody's been saying this for so long. I'm pretty sure it's right, but maybe Shan Messenger will just pull 180 and make it be Jency. Who knows? I'm gonna end off this video with a couple little theories, but even the little theories have some impact. Rio Shadows says that Keefe goes to somebody to wipe his memories of the elven world, thinking that will keep everyone else safe, and runs away for the Forbidden Cities. As I just said, these little theories definitely have big ideas. That Keefe is going to wipe away his entire memory of Lost Cities, entire memory of Sophie, of everybody in Lost Cities, and just run away to the Forbidden Cities to keep everyone safe. To be honest, that does seem like a Keefe thing to do, but I think that's exaggerating a little bit. I don't really think that's going to happen, and I hope it's not going to happen. And this is going to be the last theory from Silver Streak Sketches. I think that Sophie's father might be Gethin. I also think Sokeefe is going to happen. And my guess is that Keefe might go to the Forbidden Cities, or possibly, but unlikely, the Neverseen or his mom to try to figure out how to control his power. Let's break this theory down. The first thing they say is that Sophie's father is going to be Gethin. They didn't really say much, or they didn't say anything about why, but I think that this is definitely the other theory besides Elwyn. Then they said Sokeefe, which I do agree with. And then the next one, which I haven't thought about before, which is that Keefe will go to the Neverseen or his mom to try to figure out his power. His mom made his power, his mom created him to be like this, so if he wanted to look for anyone to try to control his power, it would be her. But then that has the consequence of, you know, being with his mom, which is arguably way worse than not figuring out his power. So that's gonna wrap up this theories video. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and maybe you found some theories that really resonate with you. You maybe found some theories that you agreed with, or you have a cool opinion on. Before you leave, comment down below, what do you think is gonna happen in book 9? Where is Keefe gonna go? What is gonna happen with his ability? You know, is Sokeefe, is Sophitz, whatever you think is gonna happen, leave a comment down below and I'll be reading all of them. That's going to be it for me. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.